Hello, welcome to a new series that I wanted to start, which is a how do I get into programming or how do I get into software development? And specifically, like, what exactly is it? Is it of interest to you, or is it something that you want to get a basic understanding of so that you could um, have a conversation with somebody who does software development and understand some of the things that they say? It's more going to be an intro, kind of the very basics, cover the various topics, and we'll see where it goes from here. So, first things first, if you are wanting to do any sort of programming, where do you start? Well, one of the most popular languages in the world is known as JavaScript. Is it the best? No. Is it the worst? No. But it is a place that you can start from literally anywhere. You can pull out your phone and grab it. You can do it on a computer, you can do it on a tablet. You can do it in a surprising number of places because the thing about JavaScript is there is a lot of things that can run JavaScript code. If you happen to be on a electronic device, which you probably are if you're watching this, there is a simple website you can go to get started without having to install or do anything. And some people use this for a number of other things to test out various um, concepts or just try and whip up something as a good example. So the website is called JS Fiddle. So going to this website, there's a couple of things of note. There are three windows, or I guess text boxes. One says HTML, one says CSS, and one says JavaScript. We're not going to worry about the other two boxes. I might cover some of this stuff and get into like some basics of web development. But we're just going to start off with what does the actual code look like? So when you're writing code, very rarely do you write code without having um, somebody else's code get used. And so, for example, if you were to try and put something visible on the screen, you're often going to use code that already exists. Um, in this case, I'm going to skip a lot of that and go to the very basics of what is the first thing you're going to do? A lot of people talk about hello world. It's the concept that everybody starts with, and it's the concept I'm going to start with here. So on the internet, if you want to print out hello world, how do you do that? Well, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to type document. You're going to write hello world. So there's a lot going on here, but let's just run this guy to see what it actually does. I'll click the run button here. It'll run your code. And of course, hello world will pop up on the screen. Pretty exciting. What is going on here? Well, there's a lot of things going on here. So in JavaScript, you often are basically writing out exactly what you want the code to do by taking something like an object, which again, I will explain later what that actually is, or some sort of named thing. And then you're going to use a dot to indicate that you want that named thing to do something. And in this case, we want it to do a write, because writing is a way in programming to describe the action or the operation of putting text to something or putting information on something. And we're going to tell it to write the words or the characters here, hello world. And of course, we have to put those characters in quotations, just like if you were to try and talk, or if you're reading a book with characters that talk, the words that they speak are going to be in quotations. So when you have to tell programming related things, hey, I need you to do or say something, well, you're going to probably put it into quotations. Then, of course, you're going to see these brackets around stuff. They're basically just a way to say, hey, I want the document to write, and what I want to write is the thing that's contained within these two brackets here, right? So that is the very high level of what's going on. And then, of course, we have the actual phrase that they want to say. And I put in a semicolon here at the end because kind of like, in poetry, when you write out lots of lines of things, you put some semicolons to help break up the logic, the flow of whatever is being performed, right? So writing code is, in some aspects, kind of like writing very structured text, but it can also be seen as like a form of poetry. It can be seen as a way to put down a recipe. It can be seen as um, a way to tell computers what you want it to do. And it will do it as best as it can. Typically, that is not what you intend, but as you get more and more comfortable with programming, you'll slowly start to understand how to make it do the things that you want it to do. So, if you wanted to say something other than hello world, we could, of course, change this text to say whatever we want. So we could say, hello, how are you doing? And again, we'll run this and it'll just spit out, hello, how are you doing? So this is the very, very basics, the very introductory of what programming is. And it is often about writing down instructions for the computer to follow and do what you tell it to. So I will continue on to this series and add in more and more complicated concepts. I figure this is a good starting point, and have a good day.